All right, everyone. Welcome to Thursday night, Ben's Brick Designs. How are you doing? I'm Ben. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, as always. I appreciate you coming by. So, lights are a little low tonight because it's very hot here, and I don't want to turn them full on. So it might be a little more dim than usual, but we're going to build some Lego, and it's going to be a good time. So I hope everyone's doing well. If you got any questions about studio design work, or if you want to chat about the new Lego stuff that's come out, a couple new sets have been announced. We'll go over that in a little bit. If you have any questions about Brick Rodeo coming up, I'm here for it. I will be at Brick Rodeo doing several things, including displaying a couple MOCs and running some workshops and some games. It is the public days of the 25th and 26th. I think all access passes are sold out, but there are public day passes still available for Saturday and Sunday. So get them while you can, and we'll get into building. So my birthday was last 9 days ago, and one of the gifts that I got was from my oldest child when they went to Florida. Got me the FIFA sign. Excuse me. And Beth got me the Keith Haring, the dancing figures. So hopefully, and I couldn't get it on today to do it, but hopefully, well, this is one that you can kind of build individually. So hopefully I'll be able to get Beth on here maybe Sunday. We'll see if she has to work or not. To build, we can build together. In the meantime, let's get to building. So every time. So this isn't an exact piece, but it is emblematic of Keith Haring's iconography, his graffiti type work that is full of characters like this, UFOs, animals. You see it. I think he's British, because you could see it in or New York. You see it on subway stations and things like that, where he does a lot of this, or he did initially, and a lot of his stuff is very widely known. He's also big into activism, so a lot of his stuff is used by different groups. So we're going to get started on this, and of course, first one going to be this orange guy right here. So we'll pop this open and get to building. So this will be about the last set to build before Brick Rodeo. This should take me maybe 2 or 3 streams, and then I'm going to do a couple streams where I build microfighters, because I've ordered parts for all the microfighters. So those will be coming in, and we'll spend the time building those. That should be fun, and then it'll be Brick Rodeo time. I also have to make a video. I think I'm going to try to do that this weekend of the con mock. There's quite a few bricks in this. Paper instructions. I don't think any stickers. Wow, at least 15 bags. This is a larger set than I thought. So we're gonna have to organize some bags here. I'm gonna open this just to see what's in it. We do have instructions up on the screen here, so. Yeah, no stickers, just instruction booklets. So I'm going to set these aside. Because we don't need them right now. And let's get to organize some of these bags. Let's see, 14, 10, 11. Sorry for the noise. 12. 1. Well, at least we got 1. 3, 4. 6, 7. 2. So how's everyone's week going? It's almost done. Tomorrow's Friday. My company has instituted a half-day Friday for the summer. Okay, you got to make up your mind, buddy. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 2, 3, 4. So today is kind of a Friday because tomorrow's a half day and working from home. Not going to be much of a work day. Nobody's going to want to start a new project. Probably not going to get a whole lot of help desk tickets. There's a handful of things I could do. New users, clean up some documentation, things like that. So good 4 hours of work, but then yeah, noon starts, noon hits, and then we're all out. So I might try to go see Supergirl tomorrow or this weekend. Got a lot of organizational stuff to do before Brick Rodeo. Our flower wall is in need of some work. Video recording for the con mock, all that stuff. So let's see. I'm gonna check something real quick. Just to make sure. All right. Cool. All right, let's get to building. So let's see, some new stuff that has come out. The Icons has come out with a new Hubble telescope, which isn't all that different from the Hubble telescope that we have already. Maybe slightly bigger. But also, we were talking about this in Discord. It's gray, and the one we've got has like the brushed silver. So it doesn't look as good. I don't know that I'll get that one. They could have picked, and I know the Hubble is famous, right? I know it's historic, but I mean, at that point they could have done any other space thing. JWST, they could have done the new Nancy Grace Roman telescope. They could have done any other ESA anything. They could have done any NASA anything. Gemini rockets, landers, but they, in very Lego fashion, picked something they've already done and redid it. And I don't know why either. Probably because the original one you could get with, I think it was the GWP with the shuttle, so that's probably why. Because I don't think it came with the shuttle. I think it was a GWP, but I don't remember. Hi, Missy. Hi, Bev. How are you? Good to see you. Happy Thursday. They say they're making their products more sustainable. This set's been out a while. So, Lego art, translate link, blah, 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 blah. So this is Lego art, built to move. Keith Haring. So, I want to read this because he's kind of an important person. Keith Haring, 1958 to 1990, was a trailblazing artist of the 80s, whose iconic artwork and subway chalk drawings in New York City captivated diverse global audiences. Between 82 and 89, Haring created over 50 public artworks around the world, and his work is showcased in over 100 exhibitions. He held children's workshops and created imagery for literacy programs. His bold, vibrant imagery has become an enduring visual language, inspiring his own and future generations of artists, fashion designers, and musicians. So here's some examples too of his artwork. Notable use of like all these, the dogs and the dancing figures and things like that. So, I don't think so the art is for everybody, and it's got some more it just talks about how like this art is made to kind of stand on its own, so you can organize it however you want. So yeah, so we'll get going. So how are you guys doing? How's everybody feeling? How was your week? You got anything excited going on this weekend? I got my beverage of choice. Got a Love Street. I have a friend who works at a design firm. She's a graphic designer who, this is the old can. The new cans have come out and it's their design, the company she works for. So this is very cool. So we went to watch the US get embarrassed at the last World Cup game. And we were all over at their house, a bunch of us. And I brought it out and she's like, is that the new can? So it was a lot of, very cool. Let's see. More Pokemon stuff is coming out. And we get a giant ball for $300, which is not great. I really feel like Lego is not handling the Pokemon license very well. They're pricing people out. They're not making, they're kind of making stuff up that I think they think Lego people would like and not necessarily Pokemon fans would like. But I don't even think Lego people like some of this stuff. You get 3 minifigures and it's a giant ball. It's $300. I think the ball opens up and there's something, but that's about it. I'm looking forward to this set because I feel like there's some really good construction and some build techniques. So I'm looking forward to that. They have a new plant thing out, the hanging vines, pirate ship and plane GWP. Oh, E.T. So the E.T. was released or announced. And honestly, I'm looking forward to that one. I showed that to Beth and she squealed a little bit. So I think we're going to end up getting that one. It looks really cool. Like the build techniques look good. It looks right. Like there's nothing about it that looks wrong. I'd be interested to see what else comes with it. I think it's just the potted plant, the daisy that he carries around, or the sunflowers. Maybe there's some little Easter eggs in there with some Reese's Pieces or something. Yeah, fair enough. Like if you can get it 20-30% off, that might be better. But yeah, E.T. Halloween sets are already coming out. There's a pumpkin. There's a little skull candle. There's a Dia de los Muertos. It looks like a hanging candle with like some charms on the bottom of it. We had the F1 racers. We have a red Panda. We had a motorcycle, like a motocross motorcycle, which actually looks really good. No desire to get it, but it looks really neat looking. So, and I know there was like a Ninja Kawasaki something or other a while back, so this kind of reminds me of that. What scenes are open? It's like, is it like a Poke Center or a gym or something like that? Or does it make it look like the map? Wish I could zoom in a little bit. I don't want to make it bigger. I want the camera to zoom in. But whatever. I don't exactly know where they're going with that, so... So the World Cup is still going on. We're down to the final 8. And I think France won theirs today against Morocco. There was a day yesterday where there was no game. So after like 27 days and 71 games or something like that, there was a day without anything. And I think the internet collapsed in on itself a little bit. Everyone's like, well, what do I do now? Do I have to work? What's going on? So I renewed my subscription to Peacock and started watching the Tour de France, because that's another thing I like. I know nothing about any of the riders, as per usual. I just like watching the races, watching the drama unfold. As someone who wanted to be a cyclist when they were a kid, I absolutely love riding bikes. It was one of the things that I actually wanted to go to college on a cycling scholarship. But even with the scholarship, there was no way I could afford the college that I wanted to go to. Wanted to go to CU Boulder, but my parents were like, how about you go to the state school? If you can afford it, you can go. So that's what I did. Metro State did not have a cycling team. Since then, though, I try to watch the tour every year. Doesn't mean I follow the riders or anything that much, but I do watch it. Nothing really special going on. Just bricks and plates so far. There's some snot building techniques here to get that plate a little more raised, but that's about it. You get a turquoise separator with this one. Ooh. So I went to drop off flyers today at the visitor center here in Austin for Brick Rodeo, big stack of Brick Rodeo flyers. I do that every year. or every year it's in Austin anyway. Park in the loading zone, run up there, say, hey, I'm the guy who built this. Can I leave some flyers on the desk? Because the flyers on the visitor center, like travel desk or whatever, are all stuff to do in Austin things. So I was like, can I leave one here? And one of the tour ladies was like, yeah, absolutely. And then there were a couple people standing there, and she went, you guys are just in time. The guy who made this is right here. And so they're asking a bunch of questions. And it was funny because there's a man and a woman, and probably about my age, maybe a little younger. And the guy was blind. And after we're, and I'm talking to both of them, describing things as best I can. And after we get done, he's like, you know what? Thank you for describing everything to me. Because it's obviously hard to go through not knowing what it all looks like. And he kind of points to his wife and he goes, she's just like, wow, it looks like a Death Star. It's like, I don't know what a Death Star looks like. This was pretty fun. It was a good time. Sadly, they were from out of state, so I was like, "Oh, you guys going to be here in a couple weeks? Go to Brick Rodeo?" And they're like, "No, we're actually going to a convention up in Illinois for blind people, or they're in town now for a blind Americans convention, and they would be leaving soon." It's like, "Oh, that's sad. Well, be here next year." Tabitha, how's it going? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. We're building some dancing figures. So there's some new-ish pieces right there. Those slopes are new-ish. These guys. They're like, I don't even know how tall they are. They're basically like a brick and 2/3 tall. No, that's not right. Yeah, brick and 2/3 tall. About a brick and 2/3 wide, or 2 studs wide. So, good new piece. Building stadium lights over here. Oh, neat. Like actual stadium lights or Lego stadium lights? Oh, Lego. Neat. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be such a surprise to see everybody's, because I feel like a lot of us haven't been bringing our really big builds to meetings. Ooh, Friday Night Lights, right on. So it'll be good to see everybody's builds when they get to the convention. Do you have a minifigure of James Vanderbeek? Pour some out. Or is this the... Oh, really? We're right next to each other? 2 stadiums right next to each other? 3 stadiums, because I'll have the little one, too. I haven't looked really closely at the map yet. I think I got voluntold for another event that's happening, the welcome party that's on there. I have to do something. Luckily, I didn't have anything else to do in that time. But I'm like, you guys got to stop. Just like, hey, Ben will do that. Hey, so and so will do that. It's like maybe check with them first and say, hey, is this something you can do? Not just sign people up for it. Because maybe I want to take a break and I don't want to be there 24/7. Four by four with a round cutout. That sure is. I have a couple of these in black, dark gray, white, not many. There was some dark red. It was a dragon set that I think it was either dark red or dark blue. So getting it in orange is really cool. Getting some orange half moon tiles is also very cool. Starting to come together. You can start to see the shapes. These are two pieces, these square orange tiles. I just had to order a bunch of these. I needed them for a lot of microfighters for some reason suddenly. And I thought I had a bunch of them, but I have like a ton of coral, but no orange. So I had to order a bunch of orange. But if I would have waited, I would have got an extra in this, because I can tell that's going to be extra. Ooh, I think that's extra too. Yep. So not anything to speak of really for the extra pieces. The half moon piece maybe is good. When we've already got part of an arm, looks like. On to bag 2. So yeah, this weekend is... Next 2 weekends, I think, are going to be very quiet. I'm going to try to not do a whole lot because... Hey, Ari Silva, what's up? I know, right? Yeah, we had to watch France basically manhandle Morocco today. Yeah, next 2 weekends are kind of free-ish, which is good because I got to get all this. I have the con mock video to make. I have to get the flower wall organized. Make sure all my microfighters are built. So quite a bit of stuff going on. I was saying earlier, Aries, that I had to go back and resubscribe to Peacock so I could watch the Tour de France. I'm like, well, there's no World Cup in a little bit, so I'm gonna have to do that. And then once that's done, I guess, you know, by then Austin FC will be back into playing. So at least that'll be going on. But that's like, you get 2 games a week, and then maybe you have off, and then it's like a game on a Saturday, and then it's a random game on a Wednesday. So what's up, Johnny? Howdy, howdy, howdy. If you guys aren't subscribed to Johnny Builds, he's doing a new thing whereby he's working on Minas Tirith now, but also this weekend he'll be doing Saturday morning cartoon builds. We'll be working on Lego stuff and watching some cartoons, so it's always a good time. Make sure to hop over there and subscribe as well. What are you up to, man? What's everybody's dinner like tonight? What were you all eating? Beth took me out for sushi. I've been kind of in my head the last couple days, so she's trying to cheer me up a little bit. So she took me to get some sushi. It was very nice. To our favorite sushi place. sandwich. Yeah, if we didn't have sushi, it would have been chicken and vegetables. So, I mean, I'm glad we did that. Oh, look. It's my absolutely least favorite piece of all time. These are only good if you get 8 of them to make a big circle. Other than that, I don't know what good they are. They put them with all the MOCs for knee joints. I mean, they're going to be great for this because it needs to have a little bit of a thing, so. Ooh, Wagyu beef patties and grilled onions. Nice. Yes, back to Austin FC suffering. Agreed. Except now we can be suffering with a bunch of new players and missing some old players, and super great. I am so looking forward to Dubrsarski in midfield, or whoever we're gonna. No, Sabovic in midfield. Unless we get somebody new. Anyway, yeah, I'm not even gonna be at the next game because that's Wednesday the 22nd, and that's when we start loading in for Brick Rodeo. So I mean, I helped with the tifo. I got everything, you know, did all the sketching out for that. Haven't been able to paint anything, but I won't be there to raise it. I'm kind of upset about that. Won't be there to get a bobblehead. So I'm gonna try to make. I'm not gonna say that I can make it just in case. Like, I don't want to get involved with tifo raising and then not be able to make it. But on the off chance, I might be able to like dump a bunch of stuff off at the convention center and then run over there and watch the game. So we'll see. Spaghetti, that's always good. Beth would have loved that. Beth loves the spaghettis. I bought a bunch of stuff at the grocery store, and I had like 4 nights worth of dinner, and I was like, all right, here are your options. This, spaghetti, and this. And she goes, spaghetti. I'm like, I don't even know why I bothered to ask. If we have spaghetti to make, I'm going to make spaghetti. Or as the Brits say, spag bowl. Spaghetti bolognese. Spag bowl. Go out and make a spag bowl. Let's see, what else? Any other Lego thing going on? The motorcycle, the new Pokemon, gift with purchase. Prime Day was a while ago. Hanging plants. E.T. Again, E.T. looks great. There's 2 new plants. There's like a dark, it's called dark something. Dark flower arrangement. I guess it's a flower arrangement that listens to Hailstorm or Black Parade or something. I think that's it. The Hubble's the most newest. But again, not super happy with it because it's like, A, we already have it. B, it's not metallic silver. It's gray. Feels like a step backwards. And I bet you the little print on the front, or the little thing on the front, is probably a sticker. All right, so here's the technique. You got a clip, you have a bar. It's one of these pieces. Inside there. To get that rounded shape, and clip it in there. Can't take that out now. Clip that in there. Nice satisfying click. They don't have the instructions on here. Put it on there until it says click. In français, click. Oh, the tables will be covered, no problem. If it's the ones, Josh really likes getting the stretchy ones that go under the feet so they don't like bunch up on top. But it makes it hard to store stuff under the back of the table, like boxes and stuff. So I don't know what it's going to be like, but yeah, they'll be covered. No problems. I am also bringing a tablecloth of my own because I have like a riser set up for my microfighters, so they're not all just on the table. They kind of actually go up a little bit so little kids can see them, because if not, they're just looking like at a table like this, and it's these little things dead on, and all they see is the front row. So I try to raise them up a little bit. I have to make sure I have that tablecloth, because if I don't, then I'm gonna have to find one somewhere. Also, in years past, you were able to kind of stand behind your model. The last couple times at both Austin and Houston, they were a little tight on space, so you weren't really able to like put a chair behind your build and kind of hang out there all day. It was either like they were back to back with like very little space in between, or there was enough space to put like one chair. So you had to kind of fight to get in and out of everything, which wasn't great, and people did complain about that. So attaching that here, you get an idea about how big these are going to be. So each one, that's pretty sizable. And I don't know, so I don't know what the layout is this time. We do have about 650 AFOLs signed up. I don't know how many MOCs they said, but assuming, I mean, I think they said a couple thousand, because everyone's going to sign up and do multiple models. So I forget what they said. It's a lot. This will be the biggest one we've ever done. Yeah, so when you register your account, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there for you. You can sign up for games, register your MOCs, and when you register your MOCs, it's all the information they need to also print out table cards. So it's got like your name, if you've got a website or a handle, that's on there. A little bit about the MOC if you want to put it on there. Also for planning purposes, they ask you, does it need power? Can it be viewed from all sides or just the front? And then dimensions, height, width, length, or height, width, depth. Whether it's your first time displaying a MOC, whether it's your first time displaying a MOC at Brick Rodeo, if it's part of a collaboration, if you completely built it by yourself, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's a lot of information. And then what they do is there's a guy who has Visio or something and plots all this out. So there's a deadline to get everything registered, so they can plan where everything gets laid out. And it's all done, and you've been to conventions, it's all done in themes, trains over here, city over here, castle over here, art, a kids section, or under 18, I think it is, or maybe it's under 16, I forget, or 12 and under maybe. Mosaics kind of line the walls. GBC, there's a GBC section. We're going to have a whole Lone Star State thing with stuff that's about Texas. Like I would have brought the UT Tower to that. I think if all the stadiums together, that might be like architecture. I'm not really sure. So yeah, it's all broken up like that. And they have to have it done at a certain time so they can get the plan to the fire marshal. So the fire marshal can make sure that people walking through the area aren't, there's plenty of room for people to walk through. It has to be like 8 feet width in aisles and stuff, or 12 feet or something like that. I forget what it is. It's got to be pretty wide. Make sure there's enough paths to get in and out, egresses and stuff. Okay, this goes like this. Getting some nice curve, snot build things happening there. Oh, nice. Yeah, 5th year. Well done. We used to have signs too. Like, I think one year we had hanging signs, which was really legit. But then one time it was just big signs on poles that were like space, Star Wars, castle, pirates, you know, that kind of stuff. But I don't think we do that anymore. It's just kind of like you wander through, and the idea is, I think it starts in a certain area and then it allows you to go 2 directions, but really you kind of want to go one. And this is also for the free, or not the free, the public day, because there has to be kind of a flow to it all. Since you're only there for a little bit, you're only there for a couple hours. So you want to make sure. I don't know how people are going to get through. I have a feeling people are going to be upset that they didn't see it all. Because I know from previous years, people were upset that they couldn't see everything in the 2 hours that they had. And now we've got a third more AFOLs, which means more models, but there's not any more added time to see it all. So I'm a little concerned that we might hear some complaints about that, but I'm not an organizer. I'm just someone who's helping. I do have all my trivia done. Both times. I have trivia both times finished. Looking forward to that. I enjoy doing that every year. Doing a microfighter talk. How to build microfighters. I'm encouraging everybody to bring your cool parts that you get in your bag, your swag bag, and then we'll have a set amount of microfighters there, and I'll be talking about how to like adjust an existing model to make a MOC, right? You got a regular set and you just adjust a little bit, now you got your own creation kind of thing. And then games, I want to do a bunch of different games. Looking forward to it. I'm a little sad because Beth has to work a lot, and she was kind of looking forward to being there too, but she may not be able to be there for a lot of it. So I might look into exchanging her ticket if somebody else wants it, but she may still want to go when she can, but she's going to be working a lot, which kind of sucks. Also have, it looks like it's just one, so it's an odd angle. You just get one angle of it. But also this cutout tile in orange, so that's pretty cool, those 2 tiles. If you ever draft this set, there's only a left, depends on how you look at it, I guess left and right. So only the left side of that one. So this will be, we started doing these conventions in 2010. And they were called Brick Fiesta. And there was a falling out with the person who owned the Brick Fiesta name, so now we had to change it to Brick Rodeo. And we did have one year that was, and I feel bad for Houston, one year was a COVID year, and they couldn't really do anything. So we tried to make like a virtual thing where if you had a ticket, you could, we tried to get people to do like talks and online displays, like workshops and stuff. but it just kind of wasn't the same. It was the best we could do. But yeah, it was like for one day, every hour, there was a new person talking, and you could come in and listen to some people. We had, I think there was some people from Lego that were able to kind of remote in and talk to some folks, but that was kind of it. Nice. Oh, that's a great, I hadn't even thought about that. So that's a great way to do just a little cutout corner, right? Is you get the pizza pie tile and then that little bow tie tile, and then it looks like it's, you know, got kind of an inside curve right there. That's really smoking. Really sexy build technique right there. Oh, there's just so many things going on. Sexy build technique, guys. Okay, I'm missing. Nope, right there. Just 2 little pieces left. Done with bag 2. Yeah, it'll be fun. And then next year it'll be in the same location, so it'll be here in Round Rock again, around Austin, basically. But it'll be at the same resort, the Kalahari Resort. Which is 11 minutes from my house. Like, I get out of the neighborhood, and there's a road that goes like this, and it's right there. And everyone's like, why aren't you staying on the... Everyone. In my head, everyone's asking me about why I'm not staying at the hotel. And 2 reasons. 1, I don't like water parks. And 2, we're saving up to go to the UK. So, ergo, I will not be staying on site. But I'm like 10 minutes away again. Like, I could come home if I forgot something and bring it back. So, looks like we're already working on the stand here. Or at least part of it. Because we got some white pieces out here. So we'll see how this goes. This also has a lot of what I like to call Lego floating, where you got that trans clear, but then something will be over here. But then everybody in Lego goes, no, that's supposed to be floating. I love that convention. I love that everybody has made the social contract, agreed that if there's a trans clear thing holding up another thing, that thing is floating. It's perfect. I guess, is the music gonna die? I do not understand this. I have so many songs on here. So I'm gonna play for 10 minutes. Best I can do is 3 songs. For those that don't know this trick, I just have to reiterate, I messed this up. That has to go 1 stud down, and this is hard to take apart. But if you get your brick separators and put them on either side, like that, and then squeeze, it should, you can see that in there, should give you enough leverage to get a fingernail or the other side of the brick separator in there. Something I learned a shocking number of years ago. Really only learned it maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, did you not know that? I'm gonna do it again. So let's say you do this. Let's say you get into a bind and you've got this. You got a 2x2 plate on a 2x2 plate, and this is really hard to get apart. You can't just pull it with your fingers, and you don't want to mess up the corners by sticking your fingernails in there. So you put them together like this and just pinch, and it should. Well, now this one won't do it. It's making a liar out of me. Maybe that's an older one. No, that was a newer one. Should just open up. Wow, those two plates are together. There we go. So now it opens up a crack and you can get a brick separator or a fingernail in there to pry them apart. Yeah, those two plates were just, they're also very brand new, so. Okay, where was I? Oh, look at that. I needed to put them together anyway. That's hilarious. Put them together, took them apart. Need to put them back together. Gotta put them back together. Gotta put them back together. Da, 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 da. So let's see what happened since I didn't stream on Sunday because we did Power Hour Saturday night. Basically 4th of July. And then we went to breakfast the next day with our friends. Their parents were in town, so we went to breakfast with them. So we did Power Hour, which is fun, as always. The video was great. It was good seeing all our friends. A lot of people we haven't seen in about a year since the last one. The night before, I enjoyed... Yeah, now he does magic tricks. Whoop, whoop. I enjoyed seeing Cabo Verde almost go all the way with their soccer, with the World Cup. But then also not Kaylee. I'm gonna have to mute this. Kelsey Fendler, the lady who rode across the Pacific. She went from California to Hawaii, and she smashed all kinds of records. You know what? Screw you, media player. Why is this like such a pain in the butt? What do you not get about shuffle and play? Shuffle. Play all of them. Why are you trying to be main character here? Anyway, that was my 4th of July celebration. We didn't really do fireworks or anything. We had Power Hour coming up, but watching this American woman row for 42 days across the Pacific to Hawaii to raise money for an organization that has helped her out and she hopes helps other people out was just amazing. And it was on TikTok, so you were able to watch every day she did an update. Day 38 or whatever, day 22. These are the things that happened today. Had to clean the boat, had to make myself a snack, got some rest. She got closer to Hawaii and it was like, and I got to talk to the Coast Guard and there was a Navy ship and blah, blah, blah. So it was really great. Use VLC. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use something else because stupid media players like, oh, you have 3 hours worth of songs? Gonna play 15 minutes. I don't know. So this seems to be the big shape, right? Get a little snod brick action in there. Get these new curved pieces, and that half moon tile in there. So you can do all these kind of fun shapes that later become like the ends of feet and stuff and hands. Also, I will be, if you guys are on Instagram, and the sad thing is I'm not, tomorrow, Whatnot's Instagram page will feature moi. They have, their Instagram has like different segments, and one of the segments is like, look at my stuff. Because Whatnot's usually like, auctioning collections of stuff, and it's very quick and it's very fast and it's very low amounts, but they can get pretty up there. But people are just like, they'll put something in front of the camera and you got 5 seconds to bid on it, and after that, next one, after that, next one. So tomorrow on their Instagram story or post that they have for people who collect things, I'm gonna be on there. And we got it set up because we thought it'd be good for Brick Rodeo. And we were going to do somebody else in Austin, but they ended up not being able to, bad commitment timing or something like that. So they're like, well, there's this other person in Austin who also collects Lego, but he also builds his own stuff. So they contacted me and was like, can we come out and do some filming? And I was like, yeah, sure. So it's going to be goofy because it's going to be one of these where it looks like I am selling stuff or I'm going somewhere and I'm not really. So it's kind of, I don't know, like the whole production bit of it. It's going to be kind of weird, but hopefully after that, it's just, you know, here's my collection of Lego stuff. And also I'm doing my darndest to be like, yeah, and you could see a lot of this kind of stuff and more at Brick Rodeo third weekend of July. So hopefully it doesn't come across as like me just absolutely hammering it with ads. But that's kind of why we approached them, was like, hey, can we do something with you guys? What's up, Dad? That's my dad in the chat. Everybody be nice to him, or don't. Really up to you. How you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well. This is my present from Beth. One of my many presents from Beth this year. She was very nice and helped out with like the house and stuff for our party and took care of me for a few days. And by take care of me, I mean she didn't let me overly stress myself cleaning the house. So that's what that is. Almost done with this one. We're getting there. This is actually pretty fun to build because it does have fun techniques, but it's also not very complicated. Like there's no technique to kind of get in the way of the system brick fun. So I highly recommend it. Plus, it's going to look great when it's done. Oops. I feel like this was important and I've already missed out. Good to get this in this color too. I have a lot of pink and medium azure, but getting new colors is always fun. So now just keep rolling. Do another tune right now. Do it. Do it. Do it. Go to another song. Roll right into it. Let's keep the party going. See, there we go. You guys know what's up. Ouch. So these waves that I'm going to be putting on here, I didn't even realize this. This is exactly what I'm doing for a collaborative build that we're doing for Brick Rodeo. I had to make some water, but it had to be like Bev and Missy know what I'm talking about. The beach and shore, the ocean, where the land meets the sea, collaborative build with Dallas. Anyway, mine is like the water levels are like right here, and then the sea floor is here, and the beach is up here. And the idea is they're offset so you can see like where the water meets up here, but then you can build stuff under here that can be seen. So I made it so like I'm doing a Death Stranding video game adaptation, so the water is tar, and there's a big thing walking through the water, and around its legs I basically did this to look like waves coming around it. It's the exact same thing, and they're like supported on translucent pieces coming up from the floor, so it's kind of funny. And puts little motion lines there. He doing a little boogie. There's a little boogie going on here. A little dancing. That looks really good. Like, even with the translucent piece behind it, with it being solid black like that, it looks amazing. So this one's going to be a little tricky because it's looks like it's a little finicky. So we've got 4 of these. 4 of these. So this looks like 3 of these go in the middle. So what is anybody else working on any cool Lego stuff right now? Any good builds? I know Johnny's working on Minas Tirith. Yeah, I've never been a big like graffiti style. I mean, it has its place, and I'm more interested in the stuff the artist did, used, like their art for, not so much the art itself. I get why people like it, and there are other artists that do stuff like this that I do like, so I get it. I did see that the Kiss is going to be coming out soon. I'm really excited about that. That's one of my favorite pieces of art of all time. I think it was a rumor or somebody found like a parts list or something that had it in there. So there's that. That looks cool. Gustav Klimt's The Kiss. And you all know what that one is. It's the one where the guy is kind of holding the lady's face, and she's kind of looking up and holding him, and it's all done in gold and red, and it's very cool. I'm a fan of that style. There's another artist named Egon Shelley, of which I am also a fan. His art is a little weird, but sort of the same sort of angular faces and knobby knuckles and things like that. So I will definitely be getting that set when it comes out. And I do actually want all the other art sets that are currently out. Starting back with the Great Wave, and then the water lilies and the sunflowers, and now the waterfall. I'm gonna get the waterfall. Yeah, I'm a little worried about this piece, but we'll get to it when we get to it. So I don't think that's missing anywhere. If it is, it was way inside here somewhere. But I don't see any gaps. So we should be okay. I got your text, Dad. Thanks. Yes, I hope the convention goes well as well. When it actually happens in 2 weeks. Yeah, and I don't remember how they found it either. It's not officially announced, and I know I'm not supposed to talk about leaks. But the way they found it was kind of interesting. It's like they were going through licensing agreements or something and they found it, or I forget what it was. But I'm like, man, that's dag, yo. That's some next level Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff. So I don't know what these are for. I think they are to keep it from, like, if you're hanging it on the wall, to keep it from kind of like rocking back and hitting the wall. Usually when you put tires on stuff, it's to keep it from sliding. Voltron and Optimus Prime have them on the bottoms of their feet. I think the AT-AT does too, where they put tires down there so they don't slide. Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's unofficial, I'm sorry I said anything I'm not really supposed to, so. Whoops. Oh, nope. Orange brick. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I think both Soundwave and Optimus use it. I thought, you know what? A couple of them use it. This uses it. It may not be it might be the bamboo set does too, under the feet of the little table to keep it. Anything that it has like a, and maybe one of the flower pot sets does too. Anything that they feel is going to be a display only set, they'll put those tires underneath it so it doesn't slide around, which I think is great. I think it's a great idea. I used it on something recently. I used it for that exact purpose. I can't remember what it is now. But it's a good technique. And by I used it, I mean I made a mock and it had. But I don't make very big mocks, so I don't know exactly what I would have done with that. Maybe it was something for our monthly build or something that I just don't remember. I saw a great commercial, one of these nostalgia TikTok accounts, and it was for the Kenner AT-AT commercial in like 1981. because the movie came out in 80, so it would have been 1981. And it was just this guy going, and the AT-AT does this, and the AT-AT does that. And I was like, man, I remember that toy. I wish I still had that. It had a big box, right? And you could put figures standing up in the box, the 5-inch or whatever they were figures, or 3.5-inch or whatever. You could position the legs, but the legs weren't motorized. There was a motorized version, but that was later. The big thing about this was you reached inside the big box and there was a handle, and you do this and it moves the head, right? And then there was a trigger on it that made the little lasers. They were transparent or translucent, and they lit up and they moved back and forth and made plow, 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 plow. Was it Anthony Daniels doing that? It was young because he still had black hair. I didn't even clock that was him. I don't think it was. It wasn't a British person. I thought it was just like some American dude. Maybe a different commercial. I don't know. It just really reminded me that we had a lot of... I'm going to say this with my dad in the chat too. We really never wanted for any toy. Like, I know we were probably hellion kids, but anytime there was a new toy, man, my parents were real good on getting that right away. And yet I don't think we were spoiled, because I know my friends all had different toys, and we all seemed to have the same amount of toys. So it's just like we seemed to... I think ours were all Star Wars and Atari. I think that's all, But I mean, geez, we had G.I. Joe, and we had He-Man and Transformers and GoBots. After a while, though, it was, you get these on birthdays and Christmas, and then after that, you buy it with your own allowance. So like the allowance bought GoBots. Birthdays and Christmas got Transformers. And I still hold that GoBots were still fun. Literally also made before Transformers. They were stolen from Japan before Transformers were. And new underwear. We always had new underwear. Because we kept losing ours in the snow or whatever it was. Roof over our head, underwear on, Transformers in the bedroom. Alright, so this is... Get an extra tire, that's pretty cool. Is this going to be tall enough to see? Yeah, sure will. So here's your stand. And this will sit in that Technic bit in the back. Like this. But it's not permanent. You can take it off of that. So it's really easy to go in and out. Just like that. So that's pretty cool. There's your first dancer. We'll put him right here, because I'll build right here now. Jetfire mint in box. Wow, you dog. That was the toy to get. Mostly because there weren't a lot of... We had to make an exception for Robotech because there weren't a lot of Robotech toys. You could get Robotech models. There were a lot of Snap Tights and... was it Revel model kits, and I had a ton of models. The older I got, I was very much into combat aircraft. My whole room was covered in combat aircraft, but also Veritex and gun platforms and all kinds of mech suits and the Zendrati ships and all that stuff. So, but Jetfire was basically a Veritech. It had the same it transformed the same way. It had the same like armor on it and everything. It was 100% a Veritech. So, all right, we're gonna go. I think this is booklet 2 now. That was 1, 2, bag 4. Okay, now we're gonna do our breakdancing teal dude. Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, it kind of does look like a Keep Truckin' figure. I wonder if was it Crumb that did keep on truckin'? Yeah, Crumb. From Zap Comics. Very iconic. I had a graphic novel. I may still have a graphic novel. Or basically a really thick book of Crumb's work, but it was a story. And it was kind of like the inspiration for the movie about our Crumb. It was weird, man. Like it was surreal, but also he was just way in his own head. Like, to the point where had he not been a successful artist, he probably would have been institutionalized. Like, he was just out there. I had the parts in the styrofoam reminded me the other day. I can't remember what I was playing with Lego. I was building something. I was unpacking something. Anyway, I think I had a blister pack of a thing, a new Giga or doodad that I was excited about. But the blister pack had this smell to it. Just a plastic smell like you kind of get. But it smelled exactly like the cockpit of the F-14 toy from G.I. Joe. And I forget what that was, the Ace something or other. But I smelled it and I was like, oh. And at the time I remember as a kid going, this is the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life. It's entirely too chemical. It's like, it gets all over your hands. And so the other day, whatever it was, I smelled it. I was like, oh man, nostalgia. Such a terrible drug. All right. So this is going to be a lot of the same. We're going to be building these little end caps and stuff. Same sort of clip and bar attachments. If you haven't like experimented with like these kind of attachments to get snot builds, this is a really good way to do it. Build something sideways, put a little clip in it, attach it to a bar, something like that, hidden inside something else. Bob's your uncle. It's a great way to do it. The only problem with it is it's pretty part heavy, part intensive. So it's not ideal, but like if you're making a spaceship, you know, an average size spaceship, something about this big maybe, you can totally like flip stuff on its side with that technique and have it angled, because the good thing about this is you can put it at any angle. The clip will hold on to it and, you know, have some give. So that's pretty good. Keep this guy over here. Okay, then that. So I think Friday, I have Friday as a half day for me. Other than, you know, vacuum, dishes, laundry, whatever else. I'm going to try to go see Supergirl. Beth won't go see it. She doesn't care. And that's fine. It's not her bag. I heard it's not great. My friend said that it wasn't like the best, but he said I would enjoy it. So I'm going to go see it. I don't know what that means. Maybe he thinks I have lowbrow tastes. Yeah, there's a bunch of smashy up stuff. You'll love it. X-Men 97, if you have Disney Plus. X-Men 97 currently, last season and so far the first 4 episodes of this season are the best thing Marvel has put out in a while. It's absolutely excellent. It is really, really good. It's just written so well. Like, it does not, it's, we don't deserve this cartoon. And it's a cartoon. Even, I mean, back in the day when it was on, it really kind of didn't pull its punches on stuff. It felt like a Canadian show where it didn't have to like rely on the sensitivity of American viewers and American shareholders that are like, no, you're going to offend people. We can't have that in our show. This show's like, nope, don't care anymore. I thought it's quite amazing. And I've got to stop watching it during the day. I need to watch it like right before. Well, actually, no, I don't need to do that. It's pretty heavy. I don't need to watch it before bed or late. I should watch it at 2 in the afternoon when I've got like a day ahead of me kind of thing, because it can be rough. New Spider-Man's coming out soon. Saw the new trailer for Dune. Excuse me. And it looked absolutely amazing. The music during the... If you haven't seen the trailer with the driving Fremen music in the background, oh, just wonderful. I cannot wait. We're trying to think of a group costume to do for Halloween, and one of our friends was like, we should go as Dune characters. I was like, who's going to be the worm? And they sent a picture of like a worm with a Fremen kind of holding on to the worm with like sticks kind of thing to make it look like they're riding it. I was like, who's going to be the worm? And she's like, her husband, she's like, Dan. I like just dressing him up in weird stuff. And he doesn't care because he doesn't plan stuff. So he'll do it. I'm like, okay. It's like, Beth, you got to be a Bene Gesserit now. Because I'm going to be Stilgar. Cannot wait for those. They look so good. Villeneuve did a masterful job with those movies. Could not ask for better adaptations, I think. As much as I like the old 80s ones, and they were batshit crazy, I really do like these new ones. Make Beth go on stilts? Why would she go on stilts? I don't trust Beth on a bicycle. There's no way she's getting on stilts. She fell off a curb and broke her elbow. No stilts. She's not what you would call graceful. She will totally agree with me on this. The really tall person in the movie. Oh. Where'd he go? Oh, man. Okay, I'm a little upset. I know who you're talking about. He might have got knocked off. I'm gonna have to see if he got knocked off. 1 second. I think I stole the stand for this. That's why I got knocked off, but he was hiding under the cabinet. You mean the Baron? That guy? He's not tall. This is just a cloak. This just hangs off him. He's levitating. He comes up out of that chair or whatever, and he's just like, he's draped in this really long blanket cloak thing, and it just hangs off him. That's just his, yeah. And I'm missing a stand. I don't know what happened to the stand. I'll have to find out. My cat walks back and forth on this shelf, and it may have knocked it off. Well, here's the thing. It's right by the entrance for the house, right? And people come in here, and when we have parties, doesn't matter how many times they've been here, and I don't change the shelf out all that much. They always stop and look at the Lego, right? And I'm like, I don't blame them. The Enterprise, Rivendell, bunch of UCS sets, all spaceships and droids. So all the figures are in front of it, and I went over there and I looked at all the Dune figures in front of the ornithopter, and I was like, where's the Baron? You know, did somebody swipe the Baron from one of the parties? No way anybody would do that, but... So, and then I kind of looked under from over here, and I was like, yep, there it is. He's under the shelf. Oh, that's true. I see what you're getting at. And we would need to build her a rig that is absolutely transparent, because as we all know, transparency equals floating. So she would have to have a transparent rig made out of nothing but transclear Duplo. As soon as you said stilts, I was like, my brain immediately went to the Dark Crystal with the Landstriders, which is basically like one person holding stilts and has stilts on their legs, and then they have like a creature costume over the top of it. And I'm like, that wasn't in Dune, was it? No. But we were thinking of like a 4-person Halloween group costume, and we had the perfect one last year. And it was one of those where we're like, yeah, that's great. We should do that. We'll do it. We'll plan it. Let's start doing it in June. So we started texting each other a few weeks ago, and we're like, what was that costume we were going to do? Nobody can remember what it was. And we're like, well, it was perfect, but now I can't remember. What was your best Halloween costume? Anybody in the chat? Your best Halloween costume. Homemade, has to be homemade. Don't tell me about that time you rented the sexy Lara Croft costume. Unless you're a guy, in which case tell me about the time you rented a sexy Lara Croft costume. Dude, I am busy. Go yell at somebody else for dinner. My mom made a Darth Vader costume for my youngest brother. Cool. Optimus Prime painted a box, blue sweatpants, and had painted tubes on my arms. Cool. How old were you guys when you did these rad costumes? Was this kids or was this last year? Do you dress up every year now as grown-ups? Or do you celebrate Halloween still? I like how we're getting these as like filler pieces. They must have like had extra at some point. It's like, you know what? Let's offload some of these. I'm guessing you mean when Star Wars first came out? Yeah, because I was like a baby when Star Wars first came out. Cool. Do you dress up in your 501st every year? Or do you do different things? And do you have plans for this year yet? Some curved bits there. Corner tile in that color. 501st costume for Fish Things Vader's on my own until I get approved. I dress up for the grandkids. I dress up for the grandkids. My favorite was jellyfish costume with lights. That sounds fun. Jellyfish, that sounds great. Mentally trying to think of how I would do a jellyfish. 2x6 in medium azure. The cat is driving me crazy. All right, we've got the right side now with the blue. The left side was at the orange, and we got the right side with the blue. So we're getting uno and uno on either side there. Looks like we're starting with the head this time instead of ending with it. Aww. Yeah, I know. I was 5. See, I thought I was 4 because the movie came out when I was 4, but I don't think we went right away. I think we waited till it came out the following year, right? Because it came out again. But again, I was a baby, and I do not remember anything before 10, usually. All right, I think we got time for one more bag. We got extra parts here, and then we'll call it a night. 5 bags in 2 hours. That's pretty good. You and Missy were potted plants. That sounds like fun. I told our friends we should go as the 4 astronauts from Artemis 2. We just get blue jumpsuits and get some patches. Should be easy to do. That was another thing I did as a kid. I really wanted, and I had a few, but I really wanted space shuttle patches. I really didn't have anything to put them on, but I really wanted space shuttle patches. And we went to a few places. We went to Cape Canaveral. I think we went to Johnson Space Center. I think I was an adult by that point. Like, I think I went on my own. But we went to Cape Canaveral and saw most stuff. We couldn't get into the vehicle assembly building because there was something actually in there, and they wouldn't let the public in. We saw everything else. And then I think as Cub Scouts / Boy Scouts, we got to go to Martin Marietta while they were rebuilding either the shuttle or the tiles for the shuttle. It's probably, now that I think about it, it's probably the tiles. But I think the shuttle was there. We just couldn't get real close to it. So that was really cool. When you say potted plants now, I think of the little Lego sets that are like the little ones with the arms that have the smiley faces on the pots. Those would be great costumes. Just get like a cardboard box, some plants, you know, some fake plants. That'd be super cute. This piece reminds me, as of the end of Brick Rodeo, starting in August, I'll probably be getting back to doing the stadium because I want to really go whole in on getting that designed. I don't want to sit on it for the next like 10 years just trying to get it figured out, so I'm gonna full on streaming, free time, whatever. I'm gonna pause on microfighters for a while. I think I have enough. So we'll see what happens after Brick Rodeo. That's kind of the temptation. Anybody who's been to a Lego convention, like as soon as it's done, you're exhausted, you're absolutely worn out. It was really good seeing all your friends, and you're immediately like, I've already got an idea of what I want to do for next year, like how I want to build it, the little trinkets that I leave around. Oh, this is cool. Hey, Beth, would you feed the cat? He's just sitting in here yelling at me. He doesn't understand there are two adults in the house. So for my trinkets that I leave around on people's MOCs that I like, I had Josh print me up some Ben's Brick Design tiles. If you guys are wanting some printed stuff, you can go to UV Monster and use this promo. If you want a promo code, I have a promo code. I don't know how he dictates whether I can use this or not, but I don't care. Use that promo code, freeze the video. 10% off your next order. All 5 of you who are in here. But yeah, I thought this worked out pretty good. I might put them under some yellow bricks. Oh, it's on the table. It's charging. To make them look like Lego, like single stud bricks. So that worked out pretty good. So for those that don't know, when the last few years have come up, this idea that not everybody gets awards for their MOCs, but people have started leaving little trinkets around people's models in an appreciation, like a little sticker or a printed something or other like that, to say, hey, I really liked your model, right? So it's kind of a nice, at the end of the convention, you can kind of scoop them all in and go, hey, look at how many people really liked my MOC, you know? So this is the first time I've ever done that. So it'll be fun if I have time. The thing is, there's going to be a lot of things going on, and I'm hoping I have time to walk around and do that. And as always, I will do a MOC walk. I don't think I'll do anything live because I'll be busy doing convention stuff Thursday night. But I will definitely do a MOC walk and post that. Sooner than later, I will try to get it uploaded before the weekend is done, so that you can subscribe to people and follow them and whatever. And so they can see that when they get home that they've got increased viewers and whatever. I always think that, Tabitha. And yeah, your first rodeo. Mock Dad is my own creation. So anytime someone says, oh, made a mock out of, I made a Star Wars mock out of this. All these little microfighters that I do are all mocks. The stadiums that I do, mocks. Everything else is just a set, an official set. So it's a way to distinguish you built it and designed it and created it yourself versus you bought it in the store and put it together with instructions. There's also someone else's creation, SEC, which is fine to type, but as soon as you say, I built a sec. How many secs have you built? It's not as good. So I usually just say somebody else's creation. Those are the kind of things you get off of like Rebrickable and Brick Vault and something like that. Somebody else designed it, made instructions. You bought the parts for it and used their instructions or bought their instructions for a nominal fee. I am congested. Can you guys hear how congested I am? And then you put it together, and then ideally you don't take those to a convention because it looks like you're pawning off somebody else's model as your own. And that's happened a few times at our convention. And it's not great. And it's a hard talk with people when you're like, you can't do that. You can't bring that in there. This isn't 100% yours. Also, I think next year I want to get our group to get I think I talked about this, a project support project done again. We missed it this year. We actually missed it the last 2 years. We did have stuff from previous years that we still had to display. So like we had to do a Mars base for 2 years. We had to do, this is the second year for, Mega Spark City because it was in Houston last year. So we have to bring it to Austin this year. Because there were people who weren't able to go to Houston. But then after that, we tried to apply for one last year and didn't get it. And we didn't have an idea this year for it. So I'd like to get something for next year, but I've had some ideas. I think I talked about one where it was like the kind of a Kalahari. It was like a savanna, Middle Africa savanna kind of thing, Middle Southern Africa, where the lug itself builds the big trees, and some like a river kind of, maybe some civilizations or something like that to go with it. But then everybody else we have available for the public. And I don't know how to do this. You can't really charge, but maybe you have to sign up. Like you can't just roll up and be like, I want to do this, but maybe you can, I don't know. But maybe have limited space or something. Everybody gets a 16 by 16 plate. And then there are parts available to build animals. And we can either have like instructions or you can kind of wing it. And you have enough things to build like maybe an animal or some shrubbery or something. And then we put all those tiles together, and it makes one. It fills out the savanna, right? Which is great at the Kalahari, because that's what the Kalahari is. It's a big desert with certain types of animals in it. So, shrubbery. Bring me a shrubbery. Beth and I watched that the other day, and I was never really I like Monty Python. Okay, I like the individual actors from it, I think, more than, and I like the show. The show was funny. The movies, I really wasn't I never was a huge fan of the movies. They were fine, but I was kind of I guess I just don't get it. Holy Grail had good parts in it. But I liked Life of Brian better. I think because being sort of ex-Catholic, it was funnier to me. It's kind of like watching Dogma, where you're like, yeah, I get this because I'm not a big fan of organized religion. This is funny. Holy Grail was just kind of yeah, okay. And then it just ends. It's the surrealist part that I don't know. Anyway, we watched it, and Beth is like, that is the greatest movie of all time. And I'm like, no, it's not. It does have fun parts, though. All right. So we got this guy connecting to here. All right, so this is a good... We've got those cheese slopes, right? Those 1x2 cheese slopes. This part right here is going to connect to that jumper stud, and it's going to be slightly off. You can see how it kind of goes in there and connects. That's all it connects to right there, is that one stud. So that's a really good, and it comes off again so you can see. And these are all rounded probably, so they don't get in the way. This would be a good set to remind people to work on flat surfaces. It really wasn't mentioned in the instructions, but best to work on flat surfaces. I feel like I'm missing... No, that's just the line. Okay. Ooh. And this is supposed to go in here to hold these together. And it's supposed to be slightly apart. So slightly apart. So it's going to go in here. Those two studs in there. Right there and right there. That's clever. To hold those together. That's some clever building techniques right there. Good stuff, Maynard. And then cover it all up so no one can see your work. And all of the angles work out great. Look at those wedge plates, just fill those angles out so nicely. Some good maths. Ooh, and we get an extra one of these. My favorite piece. Yeah, the Zelda-esque music. Anytime I have any chiptune music on, Beth's like, I don't know how you can listen to this. It puts me to sleep. And I'm like, it's just, especially like the Lukash and other chiptune bands, I'm like, it's EDM. It's just EDM made out of a Game Boy. She's like, yeah, I don't like it. And then goes to herself and listens to a bunch of drum and bass. And I'm like, I think we're agreeing to disagree here. I can't hear the difference. But she can, and that's all that matters. There's also the argument of, I thought the driver got to pick the music. How come we're listening to your music? Okay, we drive her car a lot because it's a nicer car. Because my car is about to fall apart. And so she instantly apples up some music, and I'm like, hey, I'm driving. Perfect timing. I think the music's gonna end. So we're gonna still have bits under here, obviously. We're gonna have a hand over here, and then something connecting under here, and then he'll be like this, right? So that's where we're gonna leave it. So this is fun. This is some good builds. It's going quick because it's all system. So nothing really too chaotic or too complicated. I'm looking up World Cup. I don't think anything goes on early, so I think I will be able to be here. Oh yeah, Saturday and Saturday, 4 p.m., 8 p.m. And the semifinals are Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, so we got a ways. So I should be able to be back on Sunday, and we'll work on this some more. We've got 5 figures total to get through. 5? 6. We got 6 figures total to get through. So hopefully we'll get through 2 more on Sunday. We'll just keep rolling with that. Maybe Beth will join us and build some stuff. So thank you guys for hanging out, being here, hanging out, building with me. And you guys have a good weekend. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care. Bye.